So in this first example, we're going to look at an array container, but we're also going to look at the idea of the iterator. So remember that an iterator acts much the same way that a pointer does. And baked into the phenomenalness of the iterator is once C++ has mapped what sort of iterator it is, we can actually, and we'll see this in the next example, we can use auto to automatically generate the type of iterator that it is. The reason that we want to know what type of iterator something is because, if you'll remember, the structure of an array or the structure of a vector, and really some of our new container and associative classes here, things like the set, for example, those are in contiguous locations in storage. So what the iterator allows us to do is say, hey, look, if these are, let's say, for example, 10 contiguous strings in storage, an iterator can go, okay, I know how big a string is, and if I point to the first of an array of strings, I know where the next one begins based on where the first one was. If I can point to the end of a string for an or a string array, for example, I can reverse my way through there based on, again, the size of each one of those string locations. So this turns to work out in our favor. So how do we go about doing that? That's right here on line 14. I've already created an array of type string of size. In this case, it's 4. I didn't want to type any more than I had to. And here I have the declaration for my iterator. So you'll notice the 2 colons here. That is a requirement. We did talk about why that was all the way back in the chapter material. Go back and check if you don't recall. So all we have done here is create an iterator. We have named it. It is, I apologize, but it is, that's our array iterator, is of type string and of size, which is 4. So this is fantastic because it maps to the size of our array for names. Now here, inside of our traditional for loop, this is where we get to use our iterator to do the job for us when referring to our names array. So it equals names.begin. So what this means is that we are assigning our iterator to the same location that names.begin is located at. So because they're both now strings, because they both point to the beginning of that names array, and because they have the same size, we're able to use the iterator to do things for our, well, in this case, it's our for loop. It is less than or equal to names.end. I think that makes sense. It plus. We are using the iterator to do the for loop for us, which is really pretty great. So here, you'll notice that we do have to reference this with the ampersand, the star. Coffee is wearing off at this point in time in the day, everybody. Otherwise, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run this. There we go, and you can see that it does actually return for us the values that are stored inside of those elements in the array. If I get rid of the asterisk there and run it again, what does it return for me? It returns for me the location. That is there to dereference for, you know, the value as opposed to the location. So just something to be aware of, just in case you forget that. during one of the homework problems, for example, that is what you would be running into there. So this was an array and an iterator.